Hi everyone. So, um, revelation. So last night uh, was my last night working. Today is my day off, and I saw the schedule for next week. And next week I've got 3 days off. Eyes to see and ears to hear, and I freaked out. So I went to the manager and I'm like, "Hey, I can't be off for 3 days. I really need my hours." And he goes, "Okay, so I'll put you through rush here and I'll put you through rush here. And we'll look on Wednesday to see if um, you're okay with your hours or if you need more." And I was like, "Okay." I said, "Because I can't be, um, I need to pay my bills. I need to be able to, um, you know, keep myself uh, where I am. I need to take care of myself." And I knew I was going to be there all day and that this was going to be like the longest day of any day that I've been there. So, because he won't send me home until I ask. And so I didn't even ask. And we had a lot of people, like a lot of people. We had a person for every position. And we weren't busy where I felt like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. No, like I was floating around doing whatever I wanted. And I remember talking to people and hanging out with them and, just really taking care of the customer service side. And Victor was doing the same thing. He saw me talking to people and, you know, kissing babies. I call it kissing babies, shaking hands, or shaking hands, kissing babies. And Cody says, "I'm not a politician." I'm like, "As a manager, you are a politician because you're trying to get them to come to your store and give them a customer experience that they've never had anywhere else, that they can't find anywhere else." I said, "So they have to come here to get that experience because that's what you're giving them." And so, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, I've got 3 days off next week. I've got 3 days off this. How am I going to make? Because he sends me home early on Monday because we're not busy. And then on Tuesday, same thing. He sends me home early because there's no business. So I'm like, okay, so that's 2 days that I'm not going to get the hours that I need. I might get 4 hours on each day. I'm cut out of a day. And now I've got 2 days that I've got to make up 24 hours. So I've got to work 12 hours each day in order to be able to make 30 hours. And so as I'm talking to as I'm going outside to clean some tables, I see a lady that used to work nights. And she used to close the store, the 99-cent store next door. And she would come over, she would order her food, and then she'd go back, and then she'd come back and pick it up later at night. And she always tipped me $5. And so I told her, I said, "Well, you come over and I'll take care of you." I said, "Because we have all new people and they won't understand what you do." And she goes, "Okay, just let me finish this cigarette and I'll be right over." I said, "All right." And so I had to go to the bathroom, so I went to the bathroom. I'm like, "Oh, I hope I didn't miss her." And as I was coming back around, she's coming into the store. And I said, "I'll take you at the first register." So I came around and I met her. And I said, "Okay, what are we doing today?" She said, "The cheese ravioli, and I'm doing one it with this and I want it with that." I'm like, "Okay." And she gave me a $10 bill. She had a $20 bill in her hand, but she gave me the $20 bill. When I looked down, there was a $20 bill in my hand. And I was about to give it back to her. And God says, "Don't say a word." And I'm like, "Why? Why don't you want me to say anything?" So I gave her her change for the 10, and I put the 10 in the drawer, and I kept the 20 because God said, "Keep it." eyes to see and ears to hear, because this is the revelation I got this morning. And I'm going to be talking to some people today, to an individual, one individual. And hopefully she sees my video because she lives in Switzerland. Yes, Fabienne, I'm talking to you. God gave me some revelation, okay? All right, so on the way home, I literally broke down. And I'm like, Father, what are you doing? Like 3 days off, like I don't understand. And then he started revealing some things that are going to occur because of some things that I've said that he's led me to say. And I'm like, okay. And so now he's piecing the puzzles together. Like, this is going to happen, and that is going to happen, and then you're going to do this. And I'm like, okay. And once this is established, then you're going to go over here. And I'm like, okay. He doesn't want me talking about the specific path because how I get there hasn't been revealed to me yet. He knows how I'm going to get there, but he doesn't want my steps to be, he doesn't want me thinking that this is the way my steps are going to go, and then they go something different, and then I'm going to be distressed and upset and pulling away, and he doesn't want that. So I put the $20 in my pocket, and then I'm like, the whole night I'm thanking him, like, thank you, Father, thank you, Father. So I get home, or I get out of work, and I get on the bus, and the manager let me out just past the 7:30 bus, which gets me to the 45 bus, gets me to the bus on Broadway that I can go home. It's a more direct route. I have a longer walk, but it's more direct. So he let me out just a few minutes past me catching that bus that would have caught that bus home. Instead, I ended up having to go the same path I went yesterday. And God said, this is your new path. And I was like, okay. Because I was freaking out. I thought I was going to end up stranded. And then I looked, so I have, I can text a phone number and it'll tell me the times the buses are going to be running. And I swear I saw the Broadway bus had a time of 9:10. I'm like, oh, maybe I missed seeing that because I was too early. Because if you do too early of a time, it only gives you three different stop times. And if you do it, like say if you do it at 7:30, you're only going to get up to 8:48, which was the time that I was seeing. But if you do it at 8, you'll get the 9:10. So I thought that the 9:10, and this is how good God is. I got off the bus because I misunderstood which bus I was looking at. I got off the bus and I was walking away from the bus when he said, look at it again. And I did, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I ran back to the bus and I turned around. I expected the bus to be gone because he dropped me off and there was nobody there waiting for the bus. And I saw a lady getting on as I turned around. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, wait. So she told the bus driver, hang on, somebody's coming. And I got on the bus and I'm like, sorry, wrong stop. And so I got back on the bus and then I went to the next stop. Eyes to see, ears to hear. The new road that God has me on is called Southern. Southern, okay? So I went from the 81 bus to the 62 bus, which is on Southern, and I walked, so now I'm walking to the bus stop, which is the longest bus walk I have now, from my work to the bus stop, which is not that far. And then from there, I'm only walking across the street. And it's the same distance, eyes to see and ears to hear. It's the same distance that I have to walk from my work to the bus. Okay? So now I'm taking the Southern bus to Country Club, which is street that I need to go down to get to where I live. And God said, go get some chicken. And I'm like, but I have chicken at home. You just had me buy chicken. And he goes, go buy more chicken. I'm like, okay, I'll go buy more chicken. And sorry guys, I'm gonna have to get up because my coffee's ready. So give me just a second. Yep, there's the coffee grounds. That's okay. That'll remind me to put the lid on. Oh well. Oh well. Such is life. Okay. Ouch. Oh, dang it. I got my hair wet again. Okay. So I was what was I talking about? Oh, so I'm on my way home. And so I look up the time the bus is going to be there. So I thought I was going to miss the 909 bus because the lady was driving, or the man was driving slow. And then when the lady took over, because it was shift change, it's to see and ears to hear, it was shift change. And this woman is driving, or no, this, wasn't a man. It was a man. It was a man. And he switched out with the woman. There was a woman when I started, and now it's a man. And, oh no, that was this morning. Sorry guys, so much. When you're working days, and then you're working nights, and you're working nights, and you're working days, your life gets topsy-turvy a little bit. And so I was just thinking I wasn't going to make the 909 bus because the bus driver was going way too slow. I mean, it was 8:50 and we were still at the marketplace where they stopped for like 10 minutes waiting for their break or whatever. So this driver finally gets on the road and there's a person getting off and another person getting off. So the bus is going super, super slow. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make this stop. The bus was late. The bus that was supposed to pick me up on Southern was late by 4 minutes. So I got on the 909 bus at 9:18. I got on the bus and I went, it took me to my stop so I can grab the last bus. So now I'm taking 3 buses. I have to see ears to hear, 3 buses. And so now I'm going and thinking, okay, so I'm just going to sit here. And God goes, go get chicken. I'm like, I don't want to get chicken. And I was obedient. I went and I got chicken. Because I didn't get very many cash tips. Like, the tips were we had to split them with 6. There was, so I'm going to give you some names, okay? I was working with Emily. Emily is one of the prophets that I listened to. Victor was in our midst. And then I have, there was Kira, Leah, so Emily, Victor, Kira, Leah, Jack, and me. So there were 6 of us. There were 6 of us working together. And among us was Victor. And so we got a lot of tips, but when you have to split it with that many people, the tips get smaller and smaller and smaller. So we ended up with $5 each, and I took the change. Now, the change was $4 in quarters and $2 bills. So I took 6 instead of taking the 5. But I gave everyone 5. Everyone had grace. Except for me, I took 6. Because God said, there's $2 left. Take the extra dollar. And I'm like, okay. Because otherwise I'd have to split the 4 quarters, and there's 6 of us, so there wouldn't be enough. I'd have to go even smaller than that. And the group is, I've been there since 9 in the morning, and the group has always been very, very okay with me taking the extra dollar. And they're all watching me, and I'm splitting the money up, and they see that I've got $2 left. So it's not like I did it in secret. I did it right in front of them. They all saw me. I gave each of them their $5, and that's what happened. And so, sorry, there is coffee grounds in my coffee, but they're not big, they're little. So it'll just be like a little grainy, but it's good. It's good coffee. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy God had me buy a percolator coffee pot. I just forgot to put the lid on it. Anyway, so on the way home, I buy my chicken, and I'm sitting there talking to God, and I'm telling him that I feel like I've done something wrong because the hours have been cut. And then he started to reveal to me. He reminded me a conversation that I overheard. No, he reminded me a conversation that Cody told me about that he had with Will, who's the GM. Because remember, Carla is giving her notice. And Cody was like, "Are you okay with that, Will?" And he's like, "Yeah, if she leaves, she leaves. But I've got one more card to play." And so I told Cody this. And I said, if he wants to keep his old routine, his old peeps, and he wants to live in that, and he wants to go back to that behavior and that attitude and that filth, he can go ahead. And I said, but I can tell you how that ends. Eyes to see and ears to hear. I told him there were managers that I worked with who didn't like me because I'm not like them. And I said, and they chose the people that they could have fun with, that they could joke with, that, they could just not have to work hard. And I said, and they kept those people on their shifts. And I said, but the managers that I worked with, that I was on shift with, who did their job, yes, we had fun. It wasn't all business. We had fun. We joked around, but we did our jobs. And I said, and when these guys are getting out at 2, 3 in the morning, and we're getting out, half an hour, 15 minutes after closing, they're going, why are you taking so long? Oh, well, and he goes, yeah, they come up with excuses. I'm like, yeah, they do. Because they're fucking around so much. And I said, but guess also what happens? Their days are slower because they don't take care of their customer service. They don't take care of the people that they serve. They don't take care of the people who come and pay good money. They don't take care of the product that they're serving. Cody cares. He cares about the people that he serves. He cares about the people that he's providing this food to. God had me talk to each one of these managers individually. And Cody was the only one that was receptive. Cody was the only one willing to change his ways. Cody was the only one willing to listen. Cody was the only one willing to do the work. Eyes to see and ears to hear. God is using my life to show you how he wants you to do the work. I don't go in there going, God is the Savior, Jesus is the way, because that turns people off. And it's not my place. I reflect God's love. God put me here to serve. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing the best serving that I can do, because I'm not God. I'm not Jesus. Jesus is Jesus. God is God. They have the authority. I don't. All I can do is walk into a place and bring God with me, within me, and show him to the people. And I tell them, yes, I've sinned. Yes, I've done this. Yes, I've done that. And I still believe in God. And God still takes care of me. But I don't tell them these things. I show them. I show them that God takes care of me. I show them that God leads me by the way I behave now, by the way I act now. I don't judge anyone. We have a man who says he's a woman. Before I would have, no, you're not, you're a man. But I did put him in his place, because when I was telling him that I'm not a man, I don't have man strength, that's what I was talking about, he took offense to it, because he goes, oh, I'm not a man, I'm a woman. And I said, well, I don't have your manly strength. And I said, so can you move this and that, please? And he's like, oh. I tried to push the box. It was a box full of syrup for the soda. Some boxes are bigger than others. I can't go from a dead lift because I don't have the strength for it. I haven't been working out. God's been doing it on purpose. And this man had the audacity to tell me that he was a woman. And I say audacity not because I'm judging him, because a woman is standing in front of him and can't lift a box. And he has the audacity to tell me that he's a woman. And I'm like, well, can you use your manly strength to lift that? Because I couldn't lift it. And he lifted it with ease. And then he thought about that. But I didn't tell him that. I didn't do anything to make him see anything. God did. All I said to him, well, can you use your manly strength to pick that up? And he goes, he couldn't say no, because he has manly strength. I don't. I wasn't asking him to be a man. I just said, use your manly strength, dude. I can't pick it up. And he just looked at me. And he realized in that moment, because God showed the light to him, women don't have manly strength. Women have womanly strength. We need the support of a man in order to be able to lift the heavy things. Eyes to see and ears to hear. I didn't treat, and I call him, hey girlfriend, what's up? You want to be a woman? That's fine. It's not for me to judge. It's for me to accept you the way you are and to love you like a brother, like a sister. I talked to Zoe the other day, and I told her, I've kissed a woman before, and I liked it. But then I realized that I wasn't that kind of woman, because I wouldn't go down on her. And I was like, And no, we were not having sex. It was a test. God had me in the world. I sinned just like you. I don't look at you, go, oh, I'm better than you because I've got God on my side. No, because that will take me down. Pride takes people down. I don't look at anyone and say, oh, I'm better than you. I look at no homeless person and say, I'm better than you. No, sir. No, ma'am. Because God will put me right there. He'll say, oh, you think you're better than them? Let's see what happens when you're there, like them. So what do? I treat them with respect. I treat them with love. And I treat them with kindness. Because that is what Jesus said to do. That is what Jesus said to do. Because he said, when I see you on Judgment Day, and I tell you, you haven't done these things for me, and you say to me, what do you mean I haven't done these things? When did I see you and not do these things for you? When you saw that person on the streets. And he asked you to pray for them, and you said, oh, there's no way I'm praying for that person. That person doesn't have God. You don't know why God is sending you, where he's sending you, or who he's having you pray over. For the times are no longer what they were. The end is now here, and it is not coming the way everyone thinks it is. It's not coming from the skies. It's not coming the way that the Bible is written. God is going to come in the fog of not understanding. He's going to bring clarity in the mind. And so, last night, as I'm coming home and I'm sitting there waiting for the bus, and I'm cold because it's getting cold, and it's only 9 o'clock or 9:30. So I was going to be home by 10, which is the earliest I've ever been home. And usually, if I get out at 8, I'm not home until almost 10:30. Because I got to take the bus, and then I got to take the light rail, and then I got to walk. But now, God has me taking the buses. And I'm home by 9:30, 9:45, 10 o'clock. And now I'm not tired. My legs don't hurt from walking so much. And so I'm sitting there, and there's 4 other people sitting with me. There's another lady and 2 men. And I'm starting to cry. And I'm like, Father, I'm worried. I'm scared. I don't understand. Why did he take away my closing schedule? Now he's taking away my hours. Now I don't have a full week. And he says, I will take care of you. And I said, I have to have faith. I have to believe. This is not punishment. It just looks that way. Because Lucifer is trying to make it look that way. This is not punishment. This is not punishment. And I just kept repeating that to myself. It's not punishment. It's not punishment. I got home. Let me tell you, I devoured that chicken. There was a thigh. No, there was 2 thighs and a leg. And I left the leg. But I devoured the thighs. Like I just, you think I hadn't eaten in weeks. And I'm like, Father, why am I so hungry? And he goes, because I'm allowing you to, you're about to step into your real life. And I can't have you acting like you're still in the wilderness. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And then, so I go and I take the trash out to the trash can. I come back, I have my 2 glasses of wine. And I start going, okay, Father, I'm ready for bed. And I said, what time do you want me to get up? And he goes, set the alarm clock for 9. And I did. I set the alarm clock for 9. And it went off this morning. And I got up and I took care of my dog and I got him water and I took care of going to the bathroom and all that. And then I came out and he goes, go back to sleep. This is your day of rest. Go back to sleep. So I did. I went back to sleep. And I slept. Well, no, I kind of tossed and turned for a little bit. And then I realized I'm not tired. And I said, Father, can I get up and get some coffee? I really want some coffee. And he goes, and I said, and I don't care what time I get up. I'm having breakfast. I'm going to make myself some breakfast. I'm going to make myself some eggs, and I'm going to make bacon, and I'm going to make, I'm going to have breakfast. I'm just seriously going to have breakfast. And and God goes, okay, go have some coffee. And then I forgot the lid. And then he goes, oh, but I need you to do a video. But before I did the video, he had me look up Lincoln Continental, which is country. And I'm like, okay, so, and then he reminded me that he showed me the word Lincoln. And I was like, okay. And I know there's a movie. So I went and I looked it up. So Fabienne, you need to watch the movie Lincoln Lawyer. God is going to speak to you through that. But he also wants me to give you my path with my spouse. I don't call him my kingdom husband because he's my husband. Yes, he's my kingdom husband, but he is the man I was created for. So it's implied. I don't need to say he's my kingdom husband because God knows he's my kingdom husband. I know he's my kingdom husband. So I don't need to say it. And so, Fabienne, this is how God led me, okay? When I first met this man, it was back in 2018, okay? God, before I divorced my ex-husband, okay? I didn't divorce him, he divorced me, but anyway. Before I divorced him, I remember driving in the car with him and hearing Events and Adventures. And I remember thinking, when I become single, I'm going to try that. And I'm like, single? I'm married. Like, what? But I was walking in the world, so I was like, okay, that's not going to happen, but whatever. So I just left it alone. He kept showing me the commercials after commercial after commercial, Events and Adventures on TV, Events and Adventures, Events and Adventures. Events and Adventures is a singles group that puts together events for people to come together and get to know each other in an environment of we are understanding that we're all there for the same reason. We're all there to connect with people. We're all there to make friends. We're all there to see if we can find someone that we connect with.